You can play sports with a mental illness. You can. Don't let anyone tell you you can't.
Stand clear of the closing doors, please.
Hey, I'm Michelle Hammer, and today you're watching Schizophrenia and the City. Today I want to talk about schizophrenia and sports. There's been so much talk in the news about mental health and sports. Oh, burnout. Oh, things in the past. PTSD. Oh, everything. But really, what's it like to have a mental illness and actually play sports? And a lot of what I was reading was just stress and athletes. When I was a collegiate athlete, you know what was said to me? Lead the defense. I need you to pick it up. Be a leader. There are a few people who I think I can push hard on this team, and you're one of them. Was it really that big a deal that was said to me because I have a mental illness? It was at the time. It terrified me. It made me so nervous. But honestly, without lacrosse, without playing collegiate lacrosse, I would have never graduated college. Collegiate lacrosse is the only way that I'm currently alive. Lacrosse saved my life. When I first started doing the research for this video, I started looking up stressors, things that people might, like, it's so hard to, be an athlete. It's so great to be an athlete. There's so many positives that come from being an athlete. These studies that I'm reading about mental health, or just if you're a mentally ill person, that you shouldn't play sports? No. You think you shouldn't play a sport because you're mentally ill? That's not true. Playing sports were the best things that ever happened to me. When I started playing lacrosse in 9th grade, it was the greatest thing that ever happened to me because I made friends. I was very introverted and I was very paranoid when I was that young, but I made friends with people. I played a sport that somehow I excelled at just because I wanted the ball really badly. That's what I did. I just played and people are like, you're really good. I'm like, no, I just want the ball. And I didn't think I was any good. I just played like a maniac. I didn't know what I was doing. I'd never seen this sport before in my life, but I played and it was fun. And if you are getting stressed out, remember, you don't have to keep playing. Like, I read these things like why sports are bad for mental health. A new review study published in the Journal of Athletic Training suggests there are a number of effects that this specialization has on mental, social, and psychological well-being. Possible effects include increased anxiety and stress, social isolation, less family time, insufficient sleep, and burnout. Like, who are you? Who are they measuring? Who are these people they're studying? Because this I can't even understand, because this was not my life when I played sports. What elite athletes is this? Because this is not general sports. You're taking it way too far. I'm like, I was just college athlete with a mental illness. I was more anxious and stressed more in social situations than in sports. The lacrosse field is where I felt actually somewhere or welcomed. Everybody gets nervous before a game. I would get more nervous than other people, but I get that. But everybody gets nervous. Everybody gets nervous over exams too. College is nervousness. So why are they saying all this insufficient sleep and burnout? I mean, that's kind of everybody. And this is such a weird study. These are so strange to me. Am I making any sense? Because this whole thing that I was trying to read made no sense. I just wanted to talk about you can be mentally ill and you can play sports. And all these articles and things I was finding was saying the opposite. And it was the most ridiculous thing I've ever seen in my life. Listen to this one. Do sports cause mental illness? Are you kidding me? Anxiety disorders are among the most common psychiatric problems in student athletes. Performance anxiety, panic disorder, and phobic anxiety after an injury are more likely to be sports-related. Generalized anxiety disorder and obsessive-compulsive disorder are less likely to be sports-related, but are still common. And this is from the NCAA. Whenever you go play a sport or a game or anything like that, of course you're gonna be anxious. And I understand if you get it, an anxiety disorder, feeling anxious, I understand this. I completely understand this. Performance anxiety, it's almost like obviously and 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 obviously. Like, thank you for stating the obvious and obvious. Anxiety after that injury, because you might not be able to play, that's going to cause you anxiety, obviously. I'm going to read you one more. This is how ridiculous this was. Can sports negatively affect mental health? The physical and psychological demands placed upon them by the sporting government and predispose athletes to developing depression. As an athlete's symptoms of mental illness intensify, their performance can be negatively affected, leaving them vulnerable and exposed to further symptoms of common mental disorders. If you are an athlete and you are predisposed to getting a mental illness, possible stressors from being an athlete may lead you to develop a mental illness. There are so many other variables in that situation that I don't even understand how that's studied. You can play sports with a mental illness. You can. Don't let anyone tell you you can't. And apparently you really shouldn't Google it either. Sports saved my life. My freshman year of college, when I made a big mistake, I called my lacrosse coach to take me to the hospital. The coach I had for the next 3 years knew I was in a situation. I never told her what I had, even though I was misdiagnosed. And she dealt with me very, very, very well. It was always like, Hammer, did you take your medicine today? Yeah. And to say yes or no and yes or no. But what that did for me was make me more med compliant, because I was very misbehaving. I was a misbehaving girl, running all over the place, getting in trouble at practice. Once I realized that when I took my medicine at the right time, my life got better. I felt better. And then for some reason I got asked to be a captain because I was acting better, which I still don't think I deserved, but I did okay, I guess. And my point is, you can play sports with a mental illness, but if it's too much for you, just quit. You can quit. You can always quit at any time. If it's too much for you, quit. Like we've seen, you can take a step back. You can always take a step back about anything. If something in your life is stressing you out, safely, quit. Take a step back. You don't always have to do anything just for anyone else. If you're saying your team really needs you, what's more important, your mental health or your team? Your mental health should be one of really kind of like the most important thing in your life. And because if your mental health isn't right, nothing else is really going to go according to plan. There it is, people. My opinions on mental health and sports, on schizophrenia and sports. And that's just me ranting. Really, that was just me ranting. And I'm glad that you all were here to listen to that one. Well, me and this one, we are gonna go have some fun right now. That's right.